My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Alright, so before I was so rudely interrupted, I was making a video about Bruce Lee. I made a comment to a dude who was back in MJWhite and all kinds of other bullshit. Alright, so what I was gonna say before I got interrupted by all these text messages from some chick who doesn't know me, who's asking me for money, so we know where these people are coming from. I was gonna say this. A lot of people challenge people to fights and then don't show up. A lot of people on earth right now, to this day, still think that they can beat Bruce Lee. And the reason why it's so easy to say that is because he's dead and no one else in his family has the same training that he has. His older brothers don't have it. His daughter has it, and she's not going to come and fight anybody to prove that they couldn't beat Bruce Lee, because they wouldn't be beating Bruce Lee. Essentially, they'd just be fighting his daughter. Alright? And now also, there's no knowledge of if she has the level of training as her father. So we're going to leave Shannon Lee out of it. And we're going to talk real talk. Because as a martial artist, I have never once in my life looked in a mirror and said, I can beat Bruce Lee. And a lot of other martial artists are with me on this. You know, to desecrate Bruce Lee by saying we could beat him is just that. It's a desecration. It's just like saying I can go back in time and slap Jesus off the cross. Now, watch how many Christians come after me for that one. And, you know, I ain't got nothing against Christians. Hey, it is what it is. But in reality, it's easier for people to say, yeah, I could beat Bruce Lee. I could beat Bruce Lee. And I'm going to slap y'all with the hardcore truth. The hardcore truth is this. The only way anybody could possibly beat Bruce Lee is if they came from the same area that he came from, with the same level of training, and with teachers who could beat his teachers. Because other than that, you know, y'all like chopping at the bit. And I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. And when you dream, dream big. But let's live in reality. You don't hear a lot of people going around fighting people at Jeet Kune Do schools to prove that their style is better. And here's the thing about a style. Because as a martial artist, I've studied many styles. And you study a style to get good at a style. Unless you come from where I believe in. I study styles so that I can beat those styles, so that I can recognize those styles, and so that I can adapt in the middle of combat. So that way, if someone's coming at me with what Bruce Lee knew, you know, I don't want to get hit by that shit. So I'm going to study it. I'm going to find its weakness, and I'm going to defeat it. It's just as simple. Jeet Kune Do may very well be hands down the dangerous martial art that ever was. But here's the thing about that. It's not the martial art that's dangerous. It's the person learning and using the martial art that is dangerous. Old school Wing Chun, which is what Jeet Kune Do was based on, could still be one of the most dangerous forces of martial arts. Northern and Southern style of Shaolin can still be the world's most dangerous style of martial arts. All the animal styles can be the world's most dangerous styles of martial arts. It just depends on who is being taught by whom and where they are applying it. So let me be honest. Honestly, no style is better than another style. All styles are one style. The person using the style and their ability to adapt in combat is what makes them great. It's not the style that they use, it's their ability to use the style correctly and adapt in the middle of combat. You can be the greatest martial artist in the world, and someone can still come along and beat your ass if they know how to adapt to the fighting style that you're using. So you come in with the crane. Now everyone who knows the crane is the counter to the snake. Just like the dragon is only countered by the tiger. The tiger is aggressive. The tiger likes to fight. The dragon is wisdom. The dragon tries to avoid a fight. But when pushed, the dragon will successfully win. Now when you go against the snake with the tiger fights on impulse. The snake coils before it strikes. So you have to be ready for it to coil and strike. The only downside of having the snake versus the tiger is the snake can really only strike the tiger one time. Alright? Now let's say you got the praying mantis going against the crane. The crane is a bird, it flies. So it must be fluent. However, praying mantis can fly too. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. So you are a drunken master, or drunken monkey. which is basically the combination of the monkey style and a master who is drunk. So yes, there is a drunken monkey, and yes, there is a drunken master. If you want to take drunken master, drunken monkey against capoeira, and you don't know capoeira, but the guy you're fighting has been doing capoeira since he was 4, and you're 24 and he's 14. Now, let's say Asian experience will be the only thing that will save your ass in that battle. But if you take that 14-year-old against another 14-year-old who maybe knows wushu, they might be equally matched because wushu has some dramatic high-flying shit just like capoeira. But if you don't have the ability to adapt, you can be the greatest wushu motherfucker in your dojo and bump into that capoeira dude and get your ass handed to you. So again, as I said before, with the philosophy of martial arts, I study martial arts so that I can beat those styles. I didn't study those martial arts to become a master of them. I studied Taekwondo so that if I ever fought someone who was a Taekwondo expert, I could stop them. Because in Taekwondo, everything stops and ends with a snap. With Kung Fu, your hand is closed until impact. With certain styles of Kung Fu, your hands never close. With certain styles of Karate, your hands are always closed. With certain styles of Jiu-Jitsu, you always are about throwing someone around. Same thing with Judo. Same thing with Aikido. If you know a style and you know the basis of a style, all you need is the basic of every style, and you can beat them. Now here's the thing. Fancy moves like the tornado kick if you do Taekwondo, or hurricane kick if you do Okinawa Kimbo or whatever, it's the same goddamn kick. Same thing with the propeller kick, as Van Damme calls it, it's the jumping spinning back kick. Now there's 2 types of jumping spinning back kicks, because one is a jumping spinning hook kick. It would behoove you to know the difference between the two. But you can't read them until they leave the ground. And when they leave the ground, they're at their most vulnerable spot. That's when you strike. That's why when I tell people, if I teach you a martial art, it's 2 things that I don't teach you. I don't teach you that you should kick first. You should never kick first, unless that's the only opportunity that you get. Because your feet will always be your most dangerous weapons in a martial art fight. However, if that other person is a grappler and you throw a kick and they're ready for you and they fling you around like Ajax does Deadpool, you're pretty much fucked. Now, here's the reality of martial arts. Jumping spinning kicks, tornado kicks, and flying dragons are probably the most obsolete kicks you're ever going to use in a fight. Now, if you're making a movie, they look great on camera. They look fucking awesome. And in real life, your chances and probability of nailing them are 5 to 1. Especially if you know a guy who knows the same shit that you know. If you know a guy who's as good as you are, and if you don't put this shit to practice, you don't know until you try. As a person of wisdom, I have never used a spinning kick in a real fight. Ever. Because if your eyes leave your opponent, there's a good chance that your opponent will put your ass in the dirt. And I don't have time to lose a fight. Plus, I'm too small to take an ass whooping. I'm also too old and I don't heal very fast. So I'm going to fight you with this brain first before these fists ever engage. I've already thought about 20 different ways that you can fuck me up. So I have to have 25 different ways in my head of how I can fuck you up. So as a martial artist, I can't play around. If you pull out a weapon and I don't have one, I better damn sure be able to take yours from you. Which is another reason when I tell people when I'm going to train them, I train them without weapons, because a weapon is an advantage that can be taken from you at any time. If you are a novice and you're fighting a guy who's been practicing with swords for 40, 50 fucking years, you really don't want a piece of that guy while he has a sword in his hand. He's going to eat your ass alive. Now, granted, you might be 15 years younger than him. You might be 41 and he might be 17 years older or 15 years older or whatever the hell I said. So he's up there in his 50s, 60s. He may still have incredible speed. It just depends on how good a shape he's in. And here's the thing. You can't underestimate someone by how they look. I'm 130 pounds, soaking wet. I have to drop back down to 125 pounds. So I have to cut back on some bread. And it's the holiday. So, that's going to be a little bit difficult. Plus, I really like bread. In the Army, bread was my best friend. My maximum weight was 135. And I think I'm at that now, which I'm not supposed to be because the doctors don't want that much weight on this hip. So, but how can I stay in shape if I can't distribute the ability to lose weight? Push-ups only do so much. And I haven't done push-ups in like months. But I haven't trained in martial arts in years. The skill's still there. don't think for a New York minute that it's not. I can still throw these feet if I have to. But the doctors have said, you cannot train. You should not train, and it would be great if you did not train. So I suppose I'm supposed to lay here and get unhealthy and fat. That's working out really bad for me because I'm getting unhealthy and fat. So, I've cut down to 2 meals a day, which is like breakfast and dinner, just to see if that's going to reduce the weight because I really don't know how much I weigh. I need to get a scale, really. But the whole principle is that I need to lose weight in a major way. I need to keep my weight at 125. Now, if I can maintain that, that should be healthy for whatever purposes that they need. So when I get my second hip, I think after I get my second hip, they might let me gain more weight. I don't really know. But I'm in no hurry to get my second hip replacement. No. And the thing with having replacements and all, you have to be ready. But in fights, you need to be on your A game. And the body will take care of itself. But you have to have a great teacher. So again, if you're going to learn a martial art, learn it for the reason why I learned it. I learned Taekwondo so that if I fought a Taekwondo master, I can stop him. I learned Naharate and kickboxing and a little bit of capoeira, enough that I have not mastered anything but the moves that I've learned. But it's enough to use them on any martial artist who decides to switch up on me. You take multiple styles so you'll never have an empty arsenal. But in taking those styles, don't forget that everyone you face will have a different way of using the same style because everyone's style changes up. If you're fighting someone who's a southpaw and you don't know how to fight a southpaw, go study a southpaw boxer because it's the only way you're going to learn. Get a southpaw coach to teach you how to box, and then you just add your kung fu skills to that. If you really need help, then the best person I can tell you for that, for fighting a southpaw, would be Billy Blanks, because I don't know if he's a southpaw, but he fights southpaw style. So if you can do that, you're halfway there. But to be a true master of martial arts, the only person you have to prove to anything is yourself. But proving it to others sometimes becomes a factor, which is why when people going around hollering, I can beat Bruce Lee, I can beat Bruce Lee. Yeah, you know why you can beat him? He's a fucking corpse. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you dug up his grave, that would be illegal on some level or another. But the only thing I can really tell y'all is if it was legal and we could clone him and bring him to life and up to his peak age and then see if you can beat him. If you beat his clone, technically you beat him. But if you can't beat his clone, then you cannot beat him. That's just like in, let's say, 20 years I have a child and my child comes back and let's say that he's a big Michael White fan and Michael White has passed, and then my son's going to talk shit about how he could beat Michael White, and then everybody's going to be saying the same damn thing. So, may I respect to Michael White for saying Bruce Lee is his hero. Now to the guy I left the exceptionally long note to. Let's get to that. Alright, I left the note because I wanted to prove a point. When Bruce Lee started making martial art movies, it was in the 60s and 70s. In the 60s and 70s, he caught very few breaks, and he wrote the script for Kung Fu, and they didn't even give it to him in the credits. Alright? Now, luckily for him, Brandon got in there when they made the Kung Fu movie, Kung Fu Return, or whatever the hell it was, and Brandon played the son of Kwai Chang Caine. Alright, so he got in there, even though he, didn't get to do the role that was meant for his daddy. Alright? David Carradine did that role. And I'm not even sure if David Carradine has a lick of Asian in him. He could if he has Native American in him, but I don't know. I don't care. He's gone. He's passed. God rest his soul. Now, here's the thing about that. When it comes down to martial artists, in the 70s, up until Bruce Lee died, or as long as it was in China, with the Shaw brothers and everything, no one had a problem with it. But see, Bruce Lee broke the third wall, and he gave everybody the one thing that he wanted to give us, an Asian hero. Now, granted, most of the people nowadays consider him a legend, because he is. Some of us consider him a deity, and in fact, if you want to say that he is a deity in the martial arts, he is, because he is technically the Lord of the martial arts. He defined it to its tiniest gram, and for everyone to not acknowledge that, that's fine. You don't have to acknowledge it. You have your opinion. That's what America's for. But know this. When you look at the TV, in American TV, alright? I can't say this in any other place in the world except for an American TV. America is the only place where if an Asian TV show is a hit or really good, most of them have been canceled within the first 2 seasons. You can have Asians on a hit show with white people or black people, and they're basically the comic relief. But when you have them as the lead, they don't really last very long. Margaret Cho proved that with American Girl, because apparently I'm the only person of color that isn't like Asian that watched American Girl. I watched it, and I'm sorry, it's all American Girl, I think. Either way, it has the word American and girl in it, and it was about a strong Korean family. And I think I got a season and a quarter, and then it was canceled. And the same can be said for Dr. Ken. And Dr. Ken was a damn good show, and I didn't even fucking know it was canceled until I seen the kid that plays his son on a CBS show, which goes back to America does not want to give Asians their proper due. Now, however, I will say this because Bizarre is doing pretty well. What was it? The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody did really good with Brenda Song, and unless it's like an Asian talk show like The Talk or the View or The Chew that had strong Asian people there, you don't really get that on TV. And look at how I feel because I'm half Native American. There are no TV shows with any Native American characters in it, point blank, period. Now there were at nighttime, like when Renegades came up with Lorenzo Lamas and the guy that played Bobby Sixkiller, because he's always played a Native American because he's a Native American, not Lorenzo Lamas, the other guy. The guy that was his bodyguard or his bail's bondsman, protector, or whatever the hell he was. You see him and everything. He got beat up by Steven Seagal in Hard to Kill when he grabbed the guy by the back. And he always got the mullet. Then you have Sonny Langston, who doesn't get any good roles, and you have Graham Greene. And then you don't have anybody up until Fear the Walking Dead had any strong Native American characters on TV. And if they're on TV for maybe 4 or 5 episodes and then it's done. So how can you not think about what I say when I said that Bruce Lee wanted to give everybody a hero? He wanted to give us an Asian hero. And he accomplished that. Unfortunately, he accomplished that in death. Now, if you're a Bruce Lee fan, then you know Sammo and you know Jackie. But y'all know Jet Li. And y'all know Tony Jaa. And you know Russell Wong. Russell Wong, great actor. The best thing that he's probably known for by more Asians than anyone else, and especially me, Vanishing Sun, when WDCA had it. And that was a mini-series at first, which became a series, and unfortunately, if the timing would have been a little better, Russell Wong would probably still be doing it today. Because him and his brother, Fuqua, where Fuqua was the bad guy who suckered his brother into becoming a drug dealer, where his character was a violinist who had to bail his brother and Fuqua out of a lot of fucking shit, and Russell Wong was a great fighter. Granted, I think his career started off as a Soul Train dancer, but I don't really care. I like Russell Wong. Russell Wong and Jet Li battled in From the Cradle to the Grave, I believe. Or was that Mark Dacascos? Which again is another Asian American actor. He got a stint on Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, and he got a stint on Hawaii Five-0 as Low Fat. But again, none of them really got to play heroes for a series that has actually lasted long. And unless it's like a Disney series or unless it's the Power Rangers, you rarely see any Asian superheroes. And when it comes to that, you rarely see any Native American superheroes at all on TV, unless you come up in the 70s like me with Enoch Chalk. Come find out that Apache Chief wasn't even really a part of the fucking DC universe until recent days. So, when you think about shit like that, Bruce Lee opened doors. He broke barriers. And he made it. But the thing is, he didn't make it until after he died. And it looks like my career is going on the same fucking path. But the thing is, people are always going to believe that someone can beat Bruce Lee. There's nothing wrong with believing that. But see, the problem is, you're never going to prove it until we all die and hit heaven. And in heaven, Bruce, I'm sorry, there's going to be a line of people from St. Peter's Gate to the Lord's ball sack trying to fight you. So good luck up there. But on a serious note, all jokes aside, I left at the end of my note to the guy who wrote this overkill letter in. I told him, I said, I want you to fact check this for me, and then send me a comment back about how many blacks, whites, and Asians say that they could beat Bruce Lee. I said, I can almost guarantee you that the lines of blacks and whites will probably be higher than the lines of Asians because of the respect that he has from them over there. His acting career started off over there. It came over here where it didn't take off until he went back over there. And those things do happen. Now, as I said in like 2 or 3 minutes ago, there are a lot of strong Asian characters on TV here, and if they are, with the exception of Saved by the Bell, where the guy was the principal, or Mr. Miyagi was in Happy Days, most of their shows don't make it past the second season, unless by the grace of God, they're a smashing fucking hit. Super Ninjas did really good, and then it was gone. And it was gone, and now same guys are on Fresh Off the Boat, and I'm praying that that stays on a little bit longer, because that's my shit. But most of the time, you don't get what we want most of the time, and shows that are really good and strong Asian characters, they fly away of the wasteland, and no one remembers them. No one gives a damn. But same thing with a couple of black shows or interracial couples. Those shows don't stay on the air because somehow or another it's still politically incorrect. But I'm a project of that. I come from multiculturalness. I come from race mixing. So that plus my martial arts, I've wrote stories for me where I can be black and Chinese, where I can be Native American and black, and I can be anything but white and Native American. That shit's not gonna work. My skin's way too dark for that shit. Unless I have one hell of a tan. But all my characters would always either be Native American or of some Chinese or other Vietnamese country or some Asian country mix, because people don't know what the fuck I am. So within that, I wanted to make movies so I could teach Kung Fu for free. And what I wanted to teach in my styles of Kung Fu is simple. My Kung Fu is the art of adapting, because you have to adapt in battle. Whether you're fighting Bruce Lee, Billy Blanks, Michael Jai White, Chuck Norris, or if you really want to test your skills, really, really good, go fuck with the Wizard, Larry Lamb, or Kid Carmichael Simon. Go fuck with any of those guys from WMAC Masters, and let's just see how much shit you'll be talking after that. For everybody who has been recently joning on Steven Seagal, I stopped being a Steven Seagal fan for one reason and only one reason. Because he beat his wife. I stopped being a Van Damme fan for a reason the same. For beating his wife. Now here's the thing about stardom. What you do reflects how people treat you for the rest of your career, how the rest of your life. And, Van Damme and Seagal's movies have only gone straight to video for the simple fact that when word got out that they beat their wives, no one wants to back that. And now with the sexual harassment boom, it's getting really dangerous to make movies now with like even kissing scenes or anything, because you might get jazzed for sexual harassment. So movies are coming out. They're still going to come out. But the thing is, they're going to take a hit in the romance department because people don't want to have to deal with stuff like that. And the thing is that if you're not willing to live in reality, you got a bad dose of life that's coming, and you're going to have to deal with it. And that's all I'll tell you. You're going to have to deal with it. And as I close out on this, because it totally jumped off topic, we need to understand one thing. As martial artists, as people in general, Bruce Lee had more than one goal other than being an Asian hero. He wanted to open the world to Asian culture. Not just Chinese, not just Japanese, not just Korean through martial arts. But there's so much more to the levels of what Bruce Lee wanted to do that no one really explored them, because they only knew him as a martial artist. They only knew him as an actor from Game of Death and Enter the Dragon and Return of the Dragon. But they never, ever really knew the man and the struggle until the movies came out. The most recent one was pretty good by WWE. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was a pretty good movie. And the one before that, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, was a good movie. And rumor has it that they're really trying to find people to make the Game of Death the way Bruce Lee wanted to make it. I hope that they find someone. I don't know if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is still alive, but he should still be in it if he is and play the guy at the top. I would love to be that guy, but we're going to need a doctor to make sure that I can do my moves without losing my hip. Anyway, in closing, I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.